My name is Charles Lake, and this is the War on Parenting in America, waged by the states, and I'm dealing with the state of Connecticut, and this is my 42-year true story. And we're going to start with the letter from the Lieutenant Governor. I brung that up, and we're going to go to the letter that I received from Mr. John Dillon, Program Supervisor for Department of Social Services, Bureau of Child Support Enforcement. And in this letter, it's not what's in the letter, it's what's not in the letter. And he tells me that everything is focused on the 1988 judgment that I was not allowed to speak at or have a lawyer or anything like that. That was against the rules. Which we're in a court. It should be against the rules. And the problem was, what was against the rules was the person that was at my divorce, Leslie Rader, who said that she would do the custody study, was now the prosecutor who did not do the custody study for over 2 years. So that's one of the problems the state has. The other is, my mother called Child and Youth Services several times and got them involved. Also had the New York State Police at my house several times, saying that my wife and I were doing drugs, and she was trying to get all our children taken away. But as you can see from the letter that the person that did the investigation wrote to the judge so I would have it, was never allowed into court. That's one of the things. The other thing is, they never, when Mr. Dillon looked at the letter from Waisley and Isaac, he told me that this had nothing to do with my child support, and he had no idea where it came from. But in 2015, when I went to court, they knew exactly where it came from and says, well, statute of limitations ran out. You can kiss our butt. So they can deny even knowing anything, and because you don't have a lawyer, can penalize you for it. The other thing is, they said that they did not have my divorce. Here's from 1990, when I went down to get another copy of my divorce, or as they call it, dissolution of marriage. This was in the packet. I don't think she was supposed to make a copy of this, but the date here is 12/12/90, and if you look at the date where I hired the lawyers, it was in 1990. So they were trying to circle the wagons in case that I could find an attorney. Just Mr. Isaac told me that he had to work with these people, and therefore he could not do anything for me because he had to look out for his other clients. So that's one thing. And here's another thing that in 1988, this is my mother's lawyer, and it wasn't sent to me. I had to get this, and this is the, wait a minute, this is the one I want to look at. Sorry. In 1988, my mother had a lawyer from free lawyer, and in it she put that the custody study was supposed to be done, and I was the defendant, was supposed to have residential custody after the custody study. But this wasn't even allowed into the court in front of the judge because I wasn't allowed to say anything. Otherwise, I was going to prison, And the child that the state of Connecticut gave me custody of in '86 was going to be put in welfare, and my wife and her 3 kids were not going to have me to support them because their father didn't support them. So I'm just trying to explain the fact that John Dillon said he did a complete study, but they didn't look at, number one, the facts that once my child support or my children turned 18, the child support never stopped, which it also shows that when Stephen was adopted, the child support never stopped. And this is a huge problem because I'm being billed for something that I have no control over. And that's what's happening to a lot of people that are going to family court, especially in Connecticut. And like I said, most of the people that were in the courtroom in Connecticut were black and brown. The other thing is that if you look at the paper here, this is 405 Main Street. That is the court that, well, it's the old courthouse, or it's the court that they use for family court and child support and things like that. The new courthouse in Danbury is on White Street. I think it's 141 White Street or something like that. And that's where you go for criminal trials. And that's where all the clerks are and things. So they had a copy of my divorce papers. In 2015, they said they didn't have it, and I had to go get it, and that. But in 2005 is when I got these, and that was for Mr. Rodriguez, I believe his name was, and it's in the website. When he tried to bring me back to court, and he kind of freaked out when I gave him the dissolution of marriage, and never called me back again. So I'm hoping this helps somebody out. I'm hoping that it will help me out because it shows that the state of Connecticut is violating people, grossly negligent in everything that they're doing with this, and it's the parents and the children that are being affected. So I thank you very much for listening. I hope you stay safe and have a good day.